I don't know. Okay, we're on air. Nobody yet. Just me. Oh, somebody else joined us. This could throw people off between the time shift and coming on an hour later. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Assuming everybody shifted at the same time.
Well, that's true, but I don't know. There's certain parts, even in our own country, that they don't shift the time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Saskatchewan does.
Oh, okay.
We'll just wait here for a few seconds, see who else is going to join us in the conversation. I see we've got about, how many people we got? 4 now. What you drinking? I'm doing fine. How are you two doing? We're doing well, and what we're drinking is one of Walter's famous frozen concoctions, which is what?
What do they call them? Fuzzy navel?
Oh, this is a fuzzy navel?
Yeah, I guess so.
Frozen fuzzy navel.
Only because I bought some frozen peaches.
Yeah, so frozen.
I was going to get frozen strawberries, but didn't have any.
Oh. So then it would have been a strawberry fuzzy. Or strawberry fuzzy. What would be the equivalent? I don't know. Anyways, it's got, Pracey's here. Hi, Pracey. It's got vodka and peach schnapps in it, along with the peaches. It's a healthy drink. It's fruit.
Peaches and a little bit of agave syrup because the peaches were a bit tart.
Oh, a little tart. Oh, well, everybody is what they drink. A little tart. Okay, we're just going to wait another couple seconds here, see if we have some more people join us in the chat. It's funny. We have 2 people in the chat right now, but we have 7 people online. We have a lot of lurkers.
Well, they're they're in the live chat. The lurkers don't show up, I think, if they're not available to chat.
Well, they show people the viewing. That's what the little number is on the screen. Oh, there's Jody. Hi, Jody. Okay, so we've already gone over what we're drinking. Fuzzy navels, frozen fuzzy navels. And we're eating a real delicacy, pizza bites, which are because I had 2 slices of pizza left over from another night and I cut them into little squares and heated them up. We'll eat anything that we can scrape off the side of the fridge. Walter's making dinner as we speak. We're having, what are we having?
Barbecued pork chops.
Oh, barbecued pork chops. Oven cooked barbecue pork chops. So what makes them barbecue if you're not using a barbecue?
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, Walter bought a new barbecue actually this week, and he got a real deal on it. Wow, we haven't got it yet though. Bought it at Lowe's online. So what was it regularly?
It's regularly $11.99.
So $1,200.
And I got it for $6.99. And I think they made a mistake because the next day it's back up to $11.99.
Oh.
But they seem to be shipping it. So.
Well, that's good. They're going to honor that. He does this all the time though. For some reason, he's got horseshoes up his bum when it comes to getting deals.
Well, I wanted a new barbecue this year because we have this crappy, cheapy one. And,
Oh, that's a good idea.
do you add baked beans as a side?
Yeah, that would be good. I haven't had that in a long time. Actually, I can do cheater beans. Maybe I'll make cheater beans.
Okay.
Cheater beans are where you take, what? Brain freeze?
Brain freeze.
Cheater baked beans are when you take a can of beans
Oh.
and you add... You're going to live?
No, I don't.
Because if you're not, die quietly. You mix them with, I have to remember, I think you add a little bit of ketchup, you add some mustard to it, and any kind of spices you want. And I think you add a little brown sugar. And then you just pop them in the oven in a dish and heat them up.
You just eat this stuff straight from the can.
But then it tastes like real baked beans. My mother used to make cheater baked beans sometimes. Baked beans with pork would be good, yes. And we're having fried rice. I love beans, one of my favorites. Okay, so let's get started. Start with my mother, who cares? Okay. She's fine. Um, her plants are dying because I think I mentioned to you that on her birthday, my sister and I, we all went in together.
Cheryl A. 19 Johnson, who's that?
That's Anita. Hi, Anita. Haven't seen you here for a while. Glad you were able to join us today. Um, so, anyways, we got her a little planter box with succulents in it. My sister went out and picked it out because she used to work in a florist shop, so she knows all about these plants. And they don't need. We got them succulents on purpose back then because we knew she'd never get around
Mel's
to watering them. Oh, hi, Mel. And so, anyways, every time I go over, I check them, and my sister's supposed to check them too. Well, I guess my sister hadn't been over in a bit or whatever, and so I grabbed my mother's watering can because the succulents were crispy. And heaven knows what they'll look like when I go over there this week. But I gave them a good bout of water. And my mother said, oh yeah, she was going to get around to that. Yeah, like she doesn't water anything. She doesn't. She'd have to lift a watering can and put water in it, and she doesn't do that.
Well, considering she can't move a wheelchair.
Well, she can't move her wheelchair. That's her choice not to move it. It's not because she can't, it's because she won't. So, whatever. But
Spire is from cloudy Calgary. Hope you're not frozen yet.
oh, no, not yet. It is colder here today, though. I'm not sure what the temperature is today, but it's in the single digit, I think. You said it was really cold when you were out working in the yard.
My hands were getting really cold.
Yeah. Oh, B&D are here. Hey, we haven't seen you here in a while. Not in the UK. We get the beans already done in the tin. Hi, everyone. Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about, too. It's the beans done in the tin. And actually, speaking of that, and you're from the UK, we were at a market not too long ago, and they had a British food store, and they had cans of Heinz beans, baked beans. Well, we have Heinz baked beans here too, and I should have bought a can just to see what makes them different because they have them in the British store. I mean, do British canned beans taste different than Canadian canned beans? They're all made by the same company, so I don't know, but it's like
they may have it set up for British flavors. So.
Yeah, well, like I should have bought a can to try it and see what they're like, because I love beans. Tracy says I bought Coleman's bread sauce packets. What are bread sauce packets, Tracy? I've not heard of those. Bread sauce packets. It's 49 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny in Ohio today, Anita says.
It's 4 degrees Celsius here, or 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we're about 10 degrees colder than you are, Anita. Andy says, here in the States we have Bush's baked beans. They're great out of the can. Tracy says, it's a sauce in the UK you can make with breadcrumbs. Oh, that's interesting. And what do you put it on? Or is it a type of pudding? Like, we used to be able to get these boxes of, they were basically a cake-like mix. You just add water or something to them and you could pop them in your microwave. Actually, I think we have...
Or is it like a bread pudding?
Well, that's what I was talking about. Those boxes for bread pudding. Anita's never liked baked beans. I love baked bean. No, she says it's savory. Jody says my favorite baked bean label is B&M. Do you get that in Canada? Adding chunks of bacon too. Yum.
I've never heard of B&M.
Nope, never heard of B&M at all here. I mean, our brands primarily are like Heinz and I don't know what other
there's
brands.
Stag.
But they're more chili. But do they make beans too?
I think
They
make
probably do beans too. Mel says it's minus 3C in Finland. Yeah.
I don't know what other kinds of baked beans because I don't really buy them. He likes them more than I do.
I mean, I can make baked beans. They take a while. Like right from scratch.
The way my mother always made them, they weren't sweet. The ones here are sweet.
Yeah, the ones here have sugar in them. And if you make baked beans, at least the recipe that my mother always made, you put brown sugar in with them. Do you like chili dogs?
I like them warm.
Yeah, oh, funny. Yeah, actually, not something we eat on a regular basis, but I like chili. I usually make chili.
Mm-hmm. We don't usually make chili dogs because we don't usually.
No.
Well, we do eat hot dogs, but not that often.
There's been an occasion though where we've decided to throw chili on the dog and have it. Tracy says, I made baked beans out of that Hambin package of 15 mixed beans. Well, I suppose you can make your baked beans out of any kind of beans, right? Um, yeah. I don't think it'd be too bad. Actually, if you add a hamburger to it, you've got chili. But anyways, so yeah, so my mother's fine. Had art journal class today. That's why we're on 5 o'clock p.m. But we also, our clocks went back an hour last night because we're into. I get this mixed up. Is this daylight saving or is this standard time? No, I think this is daylight saving because the idea is we get more light in the morning, but it gets darker quicker at night. So it's daylight saving or something. I don't know. But anyways,
B&D.
B&D says, not sure if the beans in Canada are different to the U.S. When we stayed in the U.S., the beans were in some sauce and covered in pork fat. Bread sauce goes with turkey in the U.K. Okay. Oh yeah, Anita says their clocks went back an hour as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the baked beans are different here than in the U.S. I have a feeling they're pretty much the same.
Yeah. Well, there's different varieties in the Heinz version. You can get beans in tomato sauce. You can get beans with deep brown beans. You can get beans in molasses, or in Canada you can get beans in maple flavored. Got a touch of like probably fake maple syrup in it. And then there's ones that have chunks of pork in them as well, but the pork is basically fat and it's just little cubes of it. It's usually you get about 2 little chunks in a can. You don't get a lot. Tracy woke up at 5. Yeah, I woke up at around 4 o'clock this morning, but then again, I wake up around 4 o'clock, 4:30 every day. So actually, there's a movement right now out in BC where they're trying to legislate. They're thinking of legislating that they won't do the time change anymore. And apparently we have something like that in Ontario that's a private member's bill or something, but it hasn't been voted on yet. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, get rid of the time changes. I thought the reason we had the time shift came back from with farmers, so they'd get more daylight to do what they needed to do in the fall and things like that. But apparently that's wrong. It was during at least in Canada, it was during the First World War. And it was in order to save on, electricity and gas and stuff like that, which it really didn't work, but it was a war effort or something like that. I heard that the other day on the news on a news program or something. So I just thought it was always something to do with farmers.
Mel said, just a reminder, if anyone had an older iPad or iPhone,
yeah,
today is the last day to update your iOS to make sure your device will work normally.
Yeah, I heard them announce that. It was for once.
Actually, I have an older iPad. I should.
Well, yeah, I do too, but I think it's like really old.
Well, that one's really old.
Like iPad 1.
It is an iPad.
Oh, is it?
It's an iPad too.
Well, it has something to do with GPS.
Mm.
And I didn't understand. They said it on the news, and I didn't understand what they're talking about. We should look that up.
Yeah.
And find out what it's about. B&D says, these beans sound interesting. Our clocks went back last week in the UK. Yeah. Well, we used to go back before Halloween. But then in whoever's infinite wisdom it was, they decided to make... Well, I think it was because it alternated. It wasn't always exactly the same date every year. It was close, but there was something, it was timed with either a phase of a moon or something. I don't know. So they decided to standardize it a few years ago, and they made it the first weekend in November. So... Mel says, I think it's iPhone 5 and older, and iPads 2012 and older.
Well, I don't think my iPad's 20.
No, I don't think our iPads are that old. My old iPad. You're right, sir. We used to change time earlier. Yeah. But anyways, so we had an art journaling class today, and it went well. We did altered tins, and I'm going to show my efforts at them tomorrow on my vlog. And Tracy doesn't have an iPad, so if she did, it would probably be up in the attic with her Alexa. I joke. What else this week? I had sewing class, 2 of them. I'm doing homework now. Thank goodness that I don't have my 2 sewing classes Monday and Tuesday this week coming, because they're doing some kind of special promo seminar or something with somebody from Janome, because my sewing store is a Janome dealership. I think basically it's a ploy to sell new machines. I didn't sign up for them. Well, they wanted $20 for each class. I think they have a couple of classes, And
Yeah, one's like from
one's from 4 to 8 at
or
night,
something like that. Yeah.
and I'm not sure what the other one is. But one's on Monday, one's on
I have
Tuesday.
a super slow Arcos pad, whatever that is.
Ooh, never heard of one of those, Tracy. Oh, Anita says she looked it up. We changed time again in March. Yeah, we will. Is that how early? Yeah, spring ahead, fall back. That's how you always remember it. But anyways, so I've got an extra week to get caught up on these 2 quilts that I'm making in these classes. I just finished cutting 100 and let's see, 100. What's 128 and 64? 100, almost 200 2-inch, 2.5-inch half square triangles. This is a mystery quilt. I call it a misery quilt, but I'm sure it's going to look nice when it's done. I've already cheated and seen what the final product looks like, even so it's not really a mystery to me, but I promised I wouldn't tell other people. And we've also put down our deposit for the next sewing retreat, which is in March, that Ultimate Sewing is having, our sewing store. So we've got that out of the way. Plus, I have a retreat coming up almost, I think, the second last weekend, no, the middle of November. And that, we may not be doing a Stephen and Walter live that particular, but that's not for a few weeks yet. So we'll give you fair warning about that. If we're still doing lives, oh, ominous sounding. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. So we'll come to that in a minute. Okay, so here's something. I'm going to talk more about it or show the link tomorrow on my vlog. But everybody remember Curiosity Inc.? I know Jody, you'll remember Curiosity Inc. Alex, the guy out in Edmonton who, bought the old house, the Potter house he called it, and renovated it and everything, and now he's renting it out, and it was a famous, well, he claims she's famous, Potter, Canadian Potter, which none of us had ever heard of before until this series. But, I've been following him now since that series along, and I find his videos very interesting and the whole bit, and then he got his new store, and he sells vintage things and antiques and stuff like that. And, he has this guy that he has general handyman kind of a thing by the name of Hans. And Hans, he calls him Hans the Viking. I think he has Norwegian roots, but I think he comes from Newfoundland. Actually, Newfoundland does have some connection to Vikings because the Vikings were the first people to land on Newfoundland, way before the Americas were discovered, supposedly.
Hans from Denmark.
Oh, is he from Denmark? Oh, okay. They call him the Viking. I just assumed that he was Norwegian when you say Viking, but I suppose, I guess he could be Danish as well. So, anyways, you'd know Mel, so I defer to you. But anyways, poor Hans, Alex, the guy's Curiosity Inc., found out that Hans's house burned down. Well, it wasn't, he had a trailer sort of thing, like a trailer home, not a travel trailer, one of those big trailers, that are more like a house. And I guess it burned down. In fact, he was in, the story goes that Hans was at a local restaurant and he could see smoke and everything in the distance, and it was generally in the area where his house was, and someone came and says, your house is on fire. And by the time he got there, it was basically burned to the ground, and he lost everything. Well, that happened 2 years ago. But I guess Alex didn't know.
And he didn't have insurance.
And he didn't have insurance. So he's been living in an old travel trailer that doesn't have any heat. Now, he's in Edmonton, okay, or outside of Edmonton. Winters in Edmonton winters for us in this part of Canada makes us feel like we're in Florida, okay? They're extremely cold. Like, it's not unusual for them to go down to minus 40. So here's this poor guy living in a trailer during the wintertime with absolutely no heat. So when Alex found out about this, he decided, because, he's hired Hans to work for him before, and he's a really nice guy, and he's become a bit of a character as well on the Curiosity Inc. YouTube channel. And he seems like just a nice, simple kind of guy, and apparently he does a lot of things for nothing for a lot of people, like senior citizens and people like that, just out of the goodness of his heart. So Alex decided to start a GoFundMe. And he was hoping to raise about $5,000 that would pay for heating the camper or the trailer that Hans is living in over the winter. Well, it went ballistic, or viral. I guess that's more of the better. And I donated to it as well. And to date, when I looked at it last, which was yesterday, it was almost at $60,000. That's how much people, were moved by this story. So Hans has bought a house. It's not a great house, but it's better than a trailer. It has heat, it has electricity. It needs a little bit of fixing up, but as Alex says, Hans is a handyman and can do that. And he got it for a really good price. It's very small. It's about 700 square feet. I don't think it has a basement. And it does need some fixing up, but it's livable in the state that it's in right now, like very livable. And it cost about $41,000. So with the extra money out of that, he'll be able to buy some furnishings and put towards renovations and things like that. Well, I thought that was a really nice thing that Alex did. Now, the skeptical side of me said a few things, but it is the skeptical side, and I don't believe my own skepticism. One, Hans, it's not like he doesn't have absolutely no money and he's living on the street. Hans had worked for a while out in the oil fields in Edmonton, and I think people on the oil fields get paid very well. He does do a lot of odd jobs around, and not all the jobs he does he not take pay for. He does. I think he's one of those kind of guys that for him, he lives a simple life. He doesn't care about having a whole lot of possessions or anything like that. But then Alex said about, well, he was going to, update us on Hans every so often and how he's doing with his renovations of his house. Well, we're all going to tune in for that because we're hooked, right? And that means Alex's YouTube channel is going to go along very well. Now, I don't resent him for this. It's just my skeptical mind goes that way. And I refuse to believe my skeptical mind. I think Alex is doing a really nice thing for this guy. I think this guy is very deserving of this help. I think they were both very shocked that it went. Well, first of all, Hans didn't know he was going to have that Alex was starting up a GoFundMe at first for this. It was a bit of a surprise for him. And then neither one ever thought that the money was going to go so quickly, because Alex only put it up a week ago. And I think he took it down today. I'm not sure. He was talking about taking it down today. It may be still up. But yeah, so, Alex has a real presence on YouTube. And he's using that presence to help somebody out. And I think that's really great. And I'm hoping that when we go out to Edmonton and Calgary in the summer, in June, that we get a chance to go and check out Alex's store. It would be really cool to actually see it in real life. But anyways, I think it was a really nice thing. So let's back up. What are people? Nordic, all Vikings. Oh, okay. Everybody in the Nordic are Vikings. Okay. Didn't know that. Do now. Hi, Anne. It's nice to see men do quilting, as my husband just thinks it's for us ladies. Your quilts are great. Look forward to them. Regards from the UK. Well, thanks, Anne.
There are a number of male quilters.
There's more than you think. There really is.
There's some people, of course, guys that maybe quilt or sew, that they're embarrassed to let other people know that they do that because it's considered a female type thing.
I look at quilting, it's not a question of that it's sewing. Yes, it is sewing. I look at quilting as an art form. It's a form of art. It's like scrapbooking and card making and mixed media and sculpture and pottery and all those other things. It's an art.
Yeah, and actually, there's a few guys that we're I'm on a Facebook site that has a male quilters group, and there's a lot of male quilters that do art quilts. Mm-hmm.
Some very sophisticated types of quilts. Make anything I make look like a dog blanket, I can tell you that. But yeah.
And then Shirley 19 Johnson or whatever says her husband and her went to a museum today and saw jewelry. Are you in the U.S. right now?
Who? Anita?
Cheryl.
Yeah, that's Anita. Yeah. That's not Cheryl. It's Cherry A19. That's Anita. You know who Anita is.
Yeah.
But I went to an art museum today and saw a jewelry exhibit from the late 1800s to 1930s. Lots of Tiffany jewelry and French jewelry. and then ate at the Olive Garden. Is the Olive Garden still any good in the States? Because it doesn't exist in Canada anymore. It used to be here, but it went out of business in Canada. But I used to like the Olive Garden. But I did go to one in the States back in Michigan back, 5 years ago. And I wasn't that impressed at that time. And I think the first Olive Garden we ever ate in was in Florida.
Yeah.
Many, many years ago, before they came to Canada.
Yeah.
But they're not in Canada anymore.
Yeah, I think because their format isn't quite the way Canadians eat, so.
Jody says it was a beautiful thing that Alex did, and I hope you do visit his shop in the future. I think once you meet him, you'll appreciate his efforts. Actually, I appreciate his efforts now. You know, the whole problem with YouTube is there are so many people on YouTube that are basically trying to get your money for one way or another. They're running businesses. And, you know, I have to remind myself that not all people on YouTube, including us, are out to make a profit. And I've been following Alex now since he started the Potter series. And I think it was you, Jody, who told me about him in the first place.
It was on here, I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was on here. And yeah, I really like his YouTube videos, and I find them very interesting. I follow his wife's YouTube channel as well. And I will give the man the benefit of the doubt. I think he's doing some nice things. In fact, he did this before for another guy. He posted the video, I looked for it, it's in the backtrack, about 7 or 8 months ago. And it was a homeless guy. Actually, the homeless guy came from London, Ontario, from our province, but was living in Edmonton. And he was down and out, and he was basically cleaning out, he was dumpster diving for stuff. And he came into Alex's store with a cartoon, a Bambi cartoon, but it was a cell. It was an original Disney cell. You know, that's those things they use to make the animation. And those suckers sell for a lot of money. And Alex knew this when he saw it. So I think Alex sold it for about $3,200, and he gave half of that money actually he sold it for more than that, but there was auction fees and stuff like that from the auction house he put it to. He went out and he gave this guy, Adam was his name, half of that money. He originally gave him $20 for it just to help him out because Alex at the time wasn't really sure what it was. He didn't think it was of any value, and then he started to research it and found it was. So I think that was really nice. And the poor guy, you know, I think the guy's come back to Ontario now, but he got that kind of money. Plus, Alex actually went out in his car looking for the guy so he could give him the money. And he was, you know, going into not the better parts of town where a lot of homeless people hang out in the whole bit and everything like that. So, you know.
Well, actually, he claims that when he was young that his parents were somewhat poverty-stricken. And so...
And they lived out of a motel for a long time when he was a teenager.
Yeah, so he sort of, I guess, feels obligated to give back when he can.
Yeah, I think he's a really nice man. And it would be nice, you know, to meet him in person. I'm thinking about actually sending him a note. You know, just to say, you know, basically I said, you know, I started with your videos with skepticism, and then I've seen what you've done in the whole bit, and, you know, really you're an amazing person to do these kind of things. And that's one reason why I donated money to Hans as well. I donated because of Alex more than anything. Now, I didn't give a lot of money. I gave $10. Okay? But other people were given 5, 10, but some were given 50, some were given more than that as well.
And actually, his site sort of said if you give $1 or $2 or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't looking for a specific amount.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you have never heard of Curiosity Inc., then search for it. I'll have a link for it in my vlog tomorrow, but all you have to do is do a search in YouTube, Curiosity Inc., I-N-C, and you'll find it. And check that out. The Hans one is one of the most recent videos that's on there. There's a couple of them about Hans, actually. There's one where Alex talks about setting up the GoFundMe. There's an update one, and then there's one when he does present Hans with the money and they go buy a house and the whole bit. It's very moving. It is very moving, and it's nice to see. I guess, you know, in this day and age, it's so easy to think people are not charitable. Perfect strangers are giving money to this. How do we start a GoFundMe? Oh,
How down and out are you?
oh, I'm really down and out. Please send your dollars to me. Yeah, whatever. Um, so there's a lot of stuff being chatted on here right now. And just see. I don't know. Great to hear a good news. Yeah, Anita says it's great to hear a good news story. Yeah, for a change. Um, Anita says yes. Olive Garden is still here, and it was good. Okay. Anne says dog blanket. Never. I like your approach to our art. Yeah. Well, you want to know something? One of the reasons why I insist upon calling scrapbooking, card making, mixed media, quilting, all of that stuff an art is because when I was volunteering at the art gallery, they were snotty as hell. And I've said this before. If you did not have a degree that was related to fine arts or an actual fine arts degree, if you weren't looking at the masters or whatever, or big names in modern art or whatever, if you weren't dabbling in that kind of stuff, they didn't consider it art. They told me right to my face that mixed media that I was doing, scrapbooking, art, card making, and quilting, were not art. They were crafts. No, they're art. They are art. It takes creativity. It takes time. It takes planning. It takes some knowledge about color theory. It takes some knowledge about design. It takes skill. And it's an expression of your feelings as well in whatever you do. That's art. As far as I'm concerned, that's the definition of art. It's creative. So, these ones with the degree in fine arts, snotty, snotty, snotty.
And it's funny because I've been in the art gallery a few times and have seen things that people have considered art and what curators consider to be art. And I've looked at it and said, well, that looks like craft to me.
Yeah. Now, Jody says, I get it. One of the worst YouTubers who does live feeds that are so boring and people donate is this Dan Bell YouTube channel. I'll have to look him up. But there are a lot of YouTube channels like that where,
they get tons and tons of subscribers,
Yeah.
and yet they're boring
Yeah.
to listen to.
So that's why today we're going to talk about what we do. And hopefully you can give us suggestions that will help us to improve, especially on my vlog. But we're coming to that. So anyways, moving along, that was about helping hands out. Halloween. Okay. What a wipeout this year. It was cold, rainy, and extremely windy, like very windy here on Thursday night for Halloween. So we didn't expect a lot of kids. Well, the last few years, we haven't gotten a lot of kids. Our subdivision is an older subdivision now. And, we don't have, we're getting more new families moving in now because as the older people die off in our subdivision, you see a moving truck, there's a hearse following it. But last year we had what?
I don't know. I thought we had about 30 last year.
Did we have that many?
I thought so, but
I thought we had under 20.
Well, maybe I can't.
I don't know. We didn't have many. Well, then this year wasn't so bad then.
No.
Well, it was worse because we had 23
Yeah.
total out of it. But it was a horrible night. In Montreal,
It was bad.
Yeah, in Montreal, they were saying that they were going to, the city government was postponing Halloween to the Friday night, to November 1st. Well, not all the municipalities that are in that jurisdiction agreed. So in one case, they were saying on the news, on one side of the street, that was one section of the municipality that agreed that Halloween would be November the 1st. The other side said, no, we're keeping it traditional. It's October 21st, or 31st, heck with the weather. So kind of confusing for people, right? In Ontario, there was talk about it too, but our government just said, no. Halloween is Halloween. It falls on October 31st. And then they would talk about when they were a kid, they remember Halloweens where they had to wear a snowsuit underneath their costumes. And actually, I do remember some Halloweens like that where we
I
had to
remember
wear...
Halloweens that it was really cold out.
Yeah, really
But I don't
cold.
remember a lot of really badly rainy days, though.
No, I don't either. But then again, we don't have good memories anymore.
No.
All that sugar rotted our brains. But we had about 23. And I don't know. Halloween, as far as I'm concerned, is a holiday. It's not a holiday. It's why are we bothering? We're giving kids early diabetes with all the bloody candy we hand out. The only ones that are profiting from Halloween are the candy manufacturers, and apparently, next to Christmas, Halloween raises the is the best. How do you put it? Marketed season, makes the most money for businesses.
B&D says it's past your bedtime. We're wrong. Well,
Yeah,
bye.
okay.
Have
Bye,
have
B&D.
good sleep.
Have a good sleep. You can catch the replay if you're interested. So, really, why do we have this stupid thing? And what gets my goat, and I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow on my vlog because it's going to be one of my rants, is the people with the babies. And there were ones with babies in this weather. It was not a nice night. It was cold. It was wet. I said to two little kids that
Problem
came
is
to the door.
that the one kid that came was so small, and she probably would never.
That
remember.
kid's still being breastfed.
Well, it could be that they're that they won't even remember it, and if they do remember it, they'll remember it's a horrible night.
Yeah, it's just mommy and daddy want the bloody candy, or they want to show the baby off
Well,
to
that's
strangers.
possibly it, yeah.
Yeah, you got a kid. We should call Children's Aid on you, bringing this kid out in weather like that. What kind of parents are you, really? I don't care if it looks cute with its little hat that's got the ears on it. Big deal. I don't get it. But anyways, and he says now it's very much geared to adults with all the decorations, etc. Yeah, that's true.
Well, it is another marketing opportunity for businesses.
Yeah, Anita says, I think there are more Halloween decor for your house than Christmas decor. Yeah, some
Almost.
people go nuts. There's a house up the street from us. Now, mind you, they have a child that has some, well, he's mentally challenged, I guess, but
Yeah, he's an adult now.
he's an adult. But they decorate like to the nth degree at Halloween and at Easter and at Christmas. Actually, it's spectacular to see what they do. But it's for, their kid kind of a thing, who's an adult basically, but whatever, and that kind of
maybe
thing.
they get the kid to help out too.
Well,
Maybe
probably
something
do.
For him to.
Well, I have nothing against people decorating for Halloween.
No.
I decorated for Halloween. I had those 2 banners, I showed those to you in my vlog that hung on the door. I mean, yeah, it's some people just love that kind of stuff. I've got nothing against it. Go for it. It's just I think there's a better way to handle Halloween. Why not have the municipality should open up some of the community centers and, have sort of a little party for all the kids to come, and they could have, adults there dressed in costumes, and they could give out candy, and they could have some games and things like that, and be indoors. And
I like your mother. They had a Halloween party, but
Oh.
she said, "Well, I don't think I'll be dressing up."
yeah. And I want to say, Mom, the way your hair looks these days, you're scary enough as it is. But I didn't say that to her. But I don't know.
I don't know.
But
You
anyways,
hear all these nasty stories about kids and stuff like that out on Halloween night about people doing things.
well, yeah, but you want to know something too? A lot of that is urban legend, they
no,
say.
I realize that.
They say about the old, the razor blades in apples and poison things and stuff like that, that is more hype. It may have happened once or twice somewhere, but, the media got a hold of it or whoever, and it's become an urban legend that people do that.
Mel says they have more Halloween stuff in their shops every year too.
Oh, we have actual pop-up stores that are open about 6 weeks before Halloween that sell everything you want for Halloween.
Well, I'm sure that the only reason they're trying to bring it over in Europe is to try and, as a marketing thing, is to try and get people sold on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know my parents came from Holland, and Halloween never existed there when they were a kid, so.
Well, no, but that was in the 50s when they came
No,
over
I
here.
know, but
Halloween in the 50s, from what my mother has told me, or my parents used to say, wasn't as big as it is today.
well, I don't think it was ever big even when we were a kid. It was big in the fact that kids went door to door.
Well, yeah, that was
But
it. But
nobody put in like Halloween lights.
yeah,
and
Halloween lights,
decorations. and
Halloween
stuff.
trees. Some people put out like a Christmas tree, but with Halloween decorations on. Actually, I think that's kind of interesting to do. I always kind of want to make a little one like that, maybe for next year. But that's the artist in me that wants to do that. But I don't know. It is what it is. And without getting a lot of kids and we had lots of candy, more for us.
Original Halloween is European.
Yeah, we know that.
Irish.
It's All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the marketing. Actually, original Halloween is European. It's Irish, but those immigrants took it to us, and now it's
US.
now it's mostly to
American.
US. It's mostly American thing. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's over for this year. Now we just have to worry about Christmas because the Christmas stuff is out.
Yeah.
And so
See, I don't like Halloween either.
no. I'm not a big fan of Christmas either, although you wouldn't know it for the amount of stuff that I've been making lately for Christmas. I'm going to show some new things on my blog tomorrow, too, that I've been making. I find Halloween quickly gets overshadowed by Bonfire Night, then Christmas.
What's
Bonfire Night.
Bonfire Night?
That's not Sadie Hawkins, is it? Or, not Sadie Hawkins. What's the one? The guy who blew up the UK Parliament back in the 1700s
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. You have your Thanksgiving coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. Oh, yeah, Black Friday. Yeah, everybody goes nuts. Actually, the deals on Black Friday, at least up here in Canada, aren't that great anymore. Should have a talk about Christmas traditions in different countries. Good idea, Mel. Always looking for suggestions. So I will write that down. What are you laughing at?
The Dutch tradition.
Oh, Dutch traditions. Oh, yeah. Well, you might get in trouble with that because
Yeah.
you got Black Pete and that. We'll save that for one of our Christmas traditions. Okay, so that was Halloween, and we talked about the clocks and do we need it? Quickly on the political front in our country, our New Democratic Party, which is not the official opposition, but right now, as I said last week, because we have a minority government, have a lot of pull, even though they've only got about 23 seats in our federal parliament, our federal legislation. They want to put through a private member's bill for universal pharmacare, and I'm all for that. That means, like, okay, we've talked about healthcare before. To make it short, what are you going to say?
Yeah, to make it short, we don't actually have pharmacare, so although we have healthcare, you still have to.
Spend a certain amount of money on drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking marijuana. That kind of thing. And dental.
A lot of people here have benefits from their work that have drug plans so that they can get drugs at a reduced, obviously, an insured rate.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, so we don't need to get into a whole discussion about healthcare in Canada.
So they're talking about wanting to add a drug plan, nationwide drug plan for.
Which would be good. That would be good. And I think he wants to include dental in that. And that would be major. Because we do not have, government covers nothing when it comes to dental care. We pay into a fund that gets us
We pay into an insurance policy.
into insurance policy, basically, that covers our dental up to about 85% of it and covers our drugs up to a certain extent too. But we pay into it every month.
Well, actually, it's the benefit for my work, and we pay the amount that we pay into it is much reduced from what it would be if we had to buy it separate. If we had to buy it all separate, it would be $800 a month, and we pay $140 a month.
Yeah. But anyways, so this would be a good thing if it got passed through. But basically, he's hedging his bets that the Liberals might go for it, because he'd have to have the Liberals would have to support it because they're the party in power.
Gets complicated.
And it gets very complicated because what he could do is hold them at ransom. Say, if you don't want to put this through, then you're not going to get us to help you put your stuff through, and you need our help because it's a minority government. It gets very complicated. But anyways. And then the teachers are ramping it up right now, like in the provincial government, because they're working without contracts, and the elementary teachers just voted overwhelmingly 98% for strike action. Doesn't mean they'll go on strike, but it means that if that when they're doing their negotiations, if it gets to the point where it's an impasse between the teachers union and the government, they could walk out. And good for them. And the OSSTF, which is the union that supports the high school teachers, which was what I belonged to, they'll be doing the same thing. Well, they're in the process of taking votes right now in the whole bit, and it will pass that the strike action. So the Ontario government under Dougie Ford, our little Trump, will be in trouble for sure. There's going to be a fight coming up. So that's always fun. I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore. And then, of course, in the States, you guys have your own problems with Trump, the impeachment proceedings, except will he really be impeached? Probably not. I think it's the Democrats shouting out just because, next year they have an election in the States and the Democrats want to do as much as they can to get, the votes they need to take power. But the Senate has to vote for it too on these things of impeachment, and it's run by the Republicans. So unless they all go, turn coat and decide not to support Trump, which is probably not a possibility, this impeachment stuff is just for looks. It won't really happen, I don't think. Anyways, I don't know. Americans could probably tell me more about that, but I'm not going to get into a whole discussion about it. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, Clinton was impeached, Precy, but he was still president. He did not get kicked out of office. And that's the other thing about impeachment. Nixon resigned when they started to do the impeachment process. So I don't know American history that well. I took it in university, some of it. But I think in the whole of the United States, I'm trying to think, there have been some other impeachments back, in the 1800s and things like that. But I don't think the president that got impeached was ever kicked right out, totally out of office, bang, out of it. I'm not sure about that. Americans can correct me on that because it's your history, not mine. But anyways.
And I don't know at all, so.
Yeah. So, okay. Precy says he will be impeached, but impeachment doesn't mean thrown out. Okay. All right. But then what's the point? You see, in our government, the equivalent of an impeachment, well, first of all, our prime minister doesn't have the power that a president of the United States does, which is one of the things that Americans need to relook at, but they never will because no one's going to touch the Constitution. You already got your amendments on the Constitution, not going to go backwards in that. Although I don't know if that would really be going backwards, more so going forward. I mean, the political system in the United States is broken. Let's face it, everybody knows that, because if it wasn't broken, then somebody like Trump wouldn't be able to get away with the things he's gotten away with in it. But in our government, if you want to throw a government out, there has to be a non-confidence vote, which means that the opposition decides that something that the ruling party is doing is not right. They fight it, and then they vote against them. And if they lose on a major issue, that's called a non-confidence vote in the government. The government is dissolved. We go to the polls again. That's how it works here. Now, does that happen on a regular basis? No, it doesn't.
It might happen a little bit easier in a what do you call it?
A minority
government,
which we have right now.
Yeah, but if the ruling party is in a majority situation, it's more difficult to do.
Yes,
but it can still be done.
It can be done, but yeah. And then Priest says loopholes. Yeah, dominionism is failing. Tracy says the model dominionist family Duggars are breaking up. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't want to get into a political discussion today because we've done that before to death. So what are we watching on TV? I'm watching the Connors and Young Sheldon, and I really do like the Connors. That's old Roseanne Barr's old show, and then she got kicked off because she opened her mouth and said something inappropriate, which is typical with her. But they've carried on with the series, and actually I kind of like it. And Young Sheldon, I think, is hilarious. And that's the spin-off from The Big Bang Theory, which was my favorite show of all time. the Big Bang. I was so sad when the Big Bang Theory decided to end.
Mel says that Google says there's only 2 U.S. presidents have been impeached, and that's Johnson and
Andrew Johnson and Clinton, Bill Clinton. Yeah, okay. Pracy says dominionism is evangelical Christian rule. Ooh, that sounds scary. Anita likes Young Sheldon too. Yeah, it's a good show. And there's been a whole bunch of movies out on Netflix. One is Laundromat. Laundromat's got Meryl Streep, and I love Meryl Streep in most things that she's been in. This movie, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It's a real thinker because it's really talking about how money is laundered. It's a weird movie in the way that it's presented.
Yeah. I found it difficult to follow, so I kind of lost interest in it.
And the thing too, it's very American. So it's based on the American financial system as well and things like that. So, it loses something in the translation, I guess. But, yeah, it's not bad. The Beguiled is actually a remake of a really old movie that had Clint Eastwood in it in its day. This one has...
I think it followed pretty much the same.
Did it follow the same?
Line.
I don't remember the original.
I don't know. I saw it so long ago. It was a 1971 movie.
But it had Nicole Kidman in it, and I love Nicole Kidman as well. And it had what's his name, the Irish guy. What's his name? Farrell. Colin Farrell in it as well, and it's worth the watch. Then we watched a couple of really weird movies last night. One's called Overlord, and it's Nazi. It's the Second World War. It takes place in occupied France, but it's kind of weird because the Nazis are experimenting on people in this little French town that they have taken over.
And they're creating zombies.
And they're basically, creating superhumans and stuff like this. So it's a little bit science fiction-y. It's a little bit historical. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition of things, but not bad. I didn't mind it.
It wasn't bad.
It takes a little time to get into it, but it's not bad. It's worth the watch if there's nothing else on. And 68 Kill... I don't know what to say about that movie. It's extremely violent. It's almost funny, dark humor. It's just bizarre.
Presley says, you want a package of fun from Philly?
A package of fun from Philly?
What's that?
What's a package of fun from Philly? Cream cheese? Philly cheesesteak? Sandwich? Tracy, you never cease to amaze me. You come up with some interesting things that we don't know anything about. You're just a box of ASTT stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what ASSTT really means. Does spell checker kick in or not? A box of assorted. A box of assorted stuff. What, you mean like send us a box of things that we can taste test, and that seems to be all the rage on YouTube, and tell you whether we like it or not? Sure. Send me an email. I'll give you our address. Talk about it. Yeah, okay. We're game, Tracy. As long as it won't kill us. I still don't trust you completely. Okay. So just send me an email. I'll send you our address. That'd be fun. We can do a whole YouTube live about that. And which we're coming up to about things, more suggestions. Okay, so there is a YouTube channel. It's called Flick Connection, and it tells you what's coming up on Netflix every month. And it's really quite interesting. That's where we found out about this one. The
Florence. Melly said she just watched Florence.
Oh,
It's about Florence Jenkins in New York. We saw
Eris
that.
known for. Oh yeah, we saw that one. That was really good.
Actually, that was really good.
Yeah, that was good. Meryl
The
Streep
piano
is so
player is the guy that played in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, the guy who plays the piano or is in that one. He's the guy who played Howard in The Big Bang Theory. Actually, it's a really good movie. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, Flick Connection is good if you want to. If you've got Netflix and you want to see what's coming up in the next month. This guy does this quickie reviews of everything that are happening. I just watched Yeah, well, what are you looking at? You keep looking at my stuff. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to figure out how you spell lasagna.
I didn't, not well. Whatever. I didn't spell check. Yeah! Read my lips. Screw off. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. Yeah, so what's cooking? Walter made lasagna last night, one of my favorite food groups. He makes good lasagna, but he uses real ricotta. He doesn't use cottage cheese in it. And he mixes his meat sauce with what? With hamburger and what you get? Spicy
Italian sauce.
Italian sausage. So, anyways, it was delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. Priest says, I'm hoping Meryl Streep takes comedian Tiffany Haddish up to star as her mom in the hood. Mel says she's waiting for Lucifer season 6, but it won't be there until next year. Yeah, I tried to watch Lucifer. I started watching it. I didn't get very far into it, and I don't know if I liked it or not. I mean, I should give that... This happens to me all the time. I go for some of these things, try them out, watch a couple of episodes, and if they don't get me by the second episode, then no. But one that we really like, and it's bizarre, and it's funny, is called Fleabag. It's out of the UK, and it's good. They've had 2 seasons of it.
And it's on Prime, though.
Oh, it's on Prime.
Amazon
That's
Prime.
right. It's on Prime. So, yeah, Amazon
And it's
Prime.
actually really good. I really liked it. It's really a little bit twisted.
Anita uses real ricotta, too.
Good.
I don't know. I used to make it the way my mother used to make it, and she used to use the ghetto cottage cheese in it, not ricotta. And the first time he made it with ricotta, okay, it's an acquired taste. I was used to cottage cheese. He made it with ricotta. I was told I didn't do it right. I never had any complaints before.
Well, no, actually,
everybody loved my
used
cottage
to use
cheese
a different
or my
recipe for
lasagna.
And then I found this one on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on the internet called The World's Best Lasagna. And I don't actually use the actual recipe.
Of course you
I
don't.
use it as a guide.
Of course you do.
So I do change it a little bit. But actually, I like the way it comes out.
It does. Yeah, I do like it. It's good. I guess when I used to make lasagna was because ricotta cost a lot more money than cottage cheese. I think that's probably why my mother made it with ricotta
And I don't
cheese,
think
but-
it's really that much different anymore.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, any recipe I've ever made that I made for years that other people like, Walter always goes, well, it's okay, but he can do better. So, you know what? I say, you do it. Because it takes a while to make lasagna, and if he wants to make it, I'll eat it. It's simple as that. Like tonight, we're having his famous we're having his delicious barbecued, oven-baked barbecued pork chops. I said to him, how about a little bit more sauce this time?
Okay, I will make it.
Yeah. But anyways, let's see. Moving on. Okay, here's today's theme. Okay. Not that I'm in competition with anyone. But I look at some of these people who put up YouTube channels, get up there, talk about nothing, or bitch about other things, like maybe like this Dan Bell that was mentioned, and they get, like, in 1 hour, they have 2.5K views, and it goes up from there. My vlogs, I'm lucky if I get 100 views, and I think, woo, each week. I mean, this week and the last week, I've been kind of down on my views on my
loves
vlog.
Dan Bell.
Oh, Tracy loves, of course, Tracy. We're going to check him out. But it's not about Dan Bell right now. It's all about us right now. Okay? So, what I would like to know is, constructively, what would make my vlog, those of you that watch my vlog, what would you prefer to see? What do you think would bring more people to my vlog? Now, let me, as you think about that, and to our live as well, let me tell you about how we make the live and we make the vlog. How do I do the vlog? I plan it out every week. I plan out both of these. I don't just go in willy-nilly. I have segments in my vlog for those of you that have seen it. And you know, I usually start off with current projects. Then I move into the YouTube channel of the week where I very quickly review a YouTube channel that I think other people might enjoy. I never criticize the YouTube ones. I won't show you ones I don't like. Maybe I should. Maybe that would get people more interested. But I don't, because I don't think that's really nice to do that. Not that I'm a really nice person, but I mean, I just don't think that's nice. Basically, because they could take mine and cut it up too, right? So I don't think there's any place for that. There's no need to do that. Then I move into links for the week. I usually put in the links to my blog, Stephen and Walter Live, the YouTube channel of the week, and the book of the week. Then I go into my rant about what's pissing me off this week. And I have to admit that sometimes those are a little bit lame because nothing's really pissing me off in that week. So, you know, I'm grasping at straws. I'll admit that. I'm grasping at straws sometimes for that. And there have been a few times I said, well, nothing's pissing me off this week. Can't think of anything. Moving on. I have started a segment that I started in about January where there's a series of kits by this company from India that my local scrapbooking store sells that I really like, and I put them together. So it's sort of a tutorial. And I break them into 3 or 4 sections over 3 to 4 week period where I show you the stages of how to put them together. Also, these particular kits, although they've gotten a little better, but when they first put them out there, they didn't have any YouTube videos about how to put them together, and their instructions are really bad. And so I show people my struggle with trying to figure out how to put them together, and then how I embellish them and all, but things like that. So that's going to my roots in scrapbooking, card making, mixed media. Then I review a book from my stash, and I've got a lot of books, and I talk about why I have the book, what I think the book's good for, and when I can find a link for the book, I put it in and what the current price is and everything like that. So these are all planned out. And then I have what went on in the past week. I always talk about my mother. Maybe that's one of the things I should get rid of, because it's pretty much the same old, same old. And then I talk about other things during the week. Some weeks there's more things happening than there are in other weeks. And then I talk about what's coming up. And so it's me chatting with people. Okay, that's what a vlog is. Okay, it's a vlog. But I try to organize it in that manner. On the live, I do a similar thing. We have segments, as you know. And as the week goes by, I have these up on my computer screen, and as things come to me or things that happen, I put them in there for our notes and go over it with Walter sometimes. And that's how we present it. So that's how I do my videos. I don't edit my videos. Okay? Here's why. I'm lazy. No, I'm not married to doing YouTube. I started doing YouTube back 5 years ago, maybe even 6, just after I retired. Because I was doing tutorials on different projects I was working on. But as time went on, they've evolved to what they are today. Because after a while, you can find out how to do anything on YouTube channels. And I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert about things.
Yeah, I know. I keep saying to them, well, if we show a video of how to kill mice, I'm sure.
Well, that's the other thing. If you go ahead and you do, like, seriously, we have a chipmunk problem, or we did. And we do have a mousy problem too. Well, we know how to kill them. But Walter did a search on YouTube. What?
Yeah.
And you found...
And like lots of people are posting, even kids were posting stuff on how to build the better mousetrap, right? And they get like hundreds and hundreds of views.
Within a day.
Of views.
Within a day.
Yeah.
Bang. I would be ecstatic if I got those kind of views. Now, Walter told me once, well, you got to change your meta tags.
Well, one thing that I always sort of said is like, he would do a demo on his Cricut or something like that, but then he wouldn't say that it was his Cricut demo. But then you did one that...
No, I said it was a Cricut demo, but I didn't put it in the meta tags or whatever.
But the one that you did do was way back about making stencils.
One of my first ones.
On a Cricut, and that, because you put that in there, you got tons of views.
Yeah, but I have put that into the meta tags still, and I don't get as many. But then you got people like Melody Lane, Tanner Bell, who do, they're ambassadors for a cricket company. They do videos coming out of their yin yang. Tanner Bell has a new one up every day. Of course, if you're into vinyl on a cricket, because, and yeah, okay,
Okay, go ahead.
like
yeah.
one
All
thing
right,
at a
yeah.
time here. If you're into vinyl, I mean, how many cute little signs do you need to make on a piece of plywood or on a canvas saying you're wonderful or awesome or today's a fantastic day or be happy? You know, like really?
However, that's your opinion. It's maybe lots of
Well,
other
my
people
opinion
are
counts.
interested. Mel says maybe it's because your channel was originally about crafts, and now it's more about quilting.
Yes, this is true. I was going to talk a little bit more about that. But Walter says, okay, but when you put up a YouTube channel, you have to select a category. And the categories are, there's quite a few categories, but they don't all pertain to what you may be putting up. I know some people, I don't know if you can select more than one category. Maybe you can. Maybe
well, no,
that
actually,
makes more
I
search.
remember people we were seeing giving advice that said that you should only stick to one thing per channel. Like you only stick to crafts on the one channel, and then you set up a separate channel for
No, maybe.
quilting.
Yeah, well, that's a little easier than said than done too.
Yeah.
When you do it, I have to look into that. Like I could move my idiot quilter as a separate channel, I guess. What I'm afraid of is they've got these new rules where you have to have over 4,000 views in a year in order to monetize a channel.
Okay, so what happens is you move your quilted stuff over the another channel, and you don't have your 4,000 views. And
I don't know if my views
build,
carry
and
over
you build
that.
it over, build
Maybe.
it up again.
I guess. Okay, well, that might be one suggestion that I could try that. Maybe. He's very good at the suggestions. He doesn't know how any of this works. He doesn't do it, but whatever.
Maybe
But,
I should have one on how to trap mice.
well, maybe you should and see what you get. Okay, so that's a possibility. Maybe I should look into that. The one thing too is, okay, I just talked about monetization. I don't care about the money part of it. So yeah, moving the idiot quilt over to its own separate channel instead of having it in as a playlist thing. And if I lose until I get up to 4,000, it doesn't matter because you know how much I make. I've told you this in that every 4 months, I'm lucky if I make $100. Well, they won't pay me until I make $100. That's chump change. That's like a dime.
Yes, it says, Presley says, see, Stephen, I have found that people are slaves for drama. Drama brings eyeballs. But
You should learn how to read. What I have found is people are slaves for drama. Drama brings eyeballs, but do you want those eyeballs? That's a good point, Tracy. No, I don't. A lot of people get very dramatic on their YouTube channel, like Ken and Sean, okay? Ken's Creations. I remember when I first started watching him, his videos were all about how to use your Cricut. He reviewed products. They were a little stiff, whatnot. He made cards or did some other things. But then he started to branch out. Now he has become, this is his business. Now, he quit his job. He's doing this full time, and he's got a channel for Chalk Couture, which in my mind, how anybody would want to do Chalk Couture forever, I don't know. Let's make another chalkboard sign, shall we? But just my opinion, because obviously it's working for him. And he does drama. He does Ken from the Car. He tells people that he's ADD, that he has these problems, he's bipolar, whatever. I don't know why Sean hasn't left him to this day, but then Sean has his hang-ups too. And yet, he's made it a success. But it's drama. Complete drama. What do people want me to do during the live? Slap Walter around? Let's have a bitch slap. Let's just fuck each other up, shall we? Oops, there's another thing. Swearing. I have found that the ones that have high views are people who swear. One of the best YouTube channels out there, I think, and has a lot of views, is Vivian Tries. I've reviewed her before. She is funny. She reviews all these as seen on TV
But
products
she's
and dollar store.
entertaining.
But she's extremely entertaining. What are you saying about me? I'm not entertaining?
You're not entertained.
Oh, fine. Jeez. Live with you. But she is funny. She is funny. She is hilarious. But what she does and what a bunch of the other ones do is heavy editing. Heavy editing. And this was what I was getting to before we got off track here. I don't edit. I'm not going to spend the time to edit. What you get is what
you get. What you get.
Yeah,
You
okay. But all right, fine. Geez, you're really fucking supportive, aren't you, you goddamn weasel? Is that enough drama for you? Have we gone viral yet?
Okay, so like Melanie Art was saying, quilting, of course, is maybe it's because your channel was originally about crafts, but now it's more about quilting, and perhaps too much serious things. Perhaps there are not enough different subjects in one blog. Okay, we went there. And then the eyeballs, and then quilting, of course, is interesting, but I love to see your projects, but maybe many of your original viewers are not into quilting, so look to other channels.
Yeah, well, I know that. Okay, there.
And then Sudoku says, what are you really trying to achieve and why?
That is, Andy, that is a really good question. And I've asked myself that. Why did I start a YouTube channel? Because I thought it was cool. It was something to do when I retired. I think it replaced what I did as a teacher. When you're a teacher, you're 75% entertainer, 25% educator. I had, though it may have been captive, I had an audience. And yes, I fed off that audience. I liked that audience. Okay? But I was also delivering, someone said here about serious content. I was delivering serious content. Okay? I was teaching kids stuff. But I know that I was a popular teacher. I know that I was a good teacher.
So you want to be popular?
Yes, I do. What do you want to be? An asshole?
I don't know why you dragged me into
Drama.
this.
Drama. Okay.
Okay, Mel says perhaps more interaction with viewers. Many channels have some weekly or monthly projects, etc. Like one thing we were doing craft stuff too in front of everybody.
Yes, we did. Yes, and we should do more of those again because we do get a fair number of views when we do an art attack kind of thing on that. So maybe we should. But to be honest, my heart isn't in paper crafting. Okay,
So-
my heart is in quilting now and related sewing kinds of stuff. I have thought of doing some tutorials. I just, I don't
But the
want...
problem is your channel says it's crafting.
Well, I don't know how to change that. I'll have to look
you'll
into
have
it.
to set up a separate channel, and of course you'll have to go back to square one and have less viewers.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm busy with other things too. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, that is a good suggestion. Okay, I will take that under advisement. Anita says, I think you have something to offer. You're a good teacher, good encourager. Thank you, Anita. I'm not getting that from Walter. Hey, Anita, do you want to leave your husband? Come live with me and I'll send Walter down to your husband? Maybe.
Well, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, right.
Cheryl says.
Well, wait, back up. It's not Cheryl, it's Anita.
Okay,
And even does it say Cheryl there? It says Cherry.
Cherry. Okay.
Cherry. Different from Cheryl.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeez. Again, drama. Okay, let's see. I know there are some women, Anita says, making a killing on their channels by filming themselves cleaning their houses. I mean, really. Yeah. Okay, here are some of the popular things that I have found out there. First of all, if you use the word haul in whatever you're going to put up. I went to the dollar store, I came home, I'm showing you what I bought. Thousands of views within hours. Okay. Other ones. I'm showing you how I decluttered. I'm using what's-her-faces, the Kamari or Kononida or the Japanese lady. If it doesn't give you joy, throw it out. So I guess that means, I hate that couch. It doesn't give me joy anymore. I hate these products. I don't love them more. I don't like my husband. Throw it out. Which could happen real quick. Yeah, okay, so those are popular. The DIYs. We're talking about, okay, my channel was a craft channel when it started out and all that kind of stuff. But you have these ones who, I went to the dollar store and I got all this stuff. And I'm now going to show you how I'm going to make something that's barnyard, country French, chic, distressed look for your living room. And they're making goddamn junk. I mean, I bought a crate and I'm going to paint it with this cheap craft paint, and I'm going to stick some fake flowers in it. It's just darling. It's so stinking cute.
But they probably get a whole pile of views.
Oh, they do. They get a ton of views. I don't understand it, but they get a ton of views. So those ones I dismiss because I figure their viewers are...
They're interested in as viewers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, you would like to be a
Well,
little bit more popular.
No, I would like more views. I would like more views. Yeah, it's an ego thing.
Prezi says, do a fabric haul. We've done that.
Well, I've done a fabric haul. I don't know if you've seen Prezi, the Idiot Quilter. My other, of course, it's in a playlist on this channel, on Bland Designs. Okay, so it may be right. I need to set up a different
says, okay, I'm guilty of watching the cleaning in Dollar Tree do-it-yourself videos.
Well, I've done it too. I've watched it too. You know why?
Well, we watched one last night.
Yeah, we did. That was the one with the stupid little wooden crates from the Dollar Tree.
And was it wooden rulers that you take the plastic inches off?
Yeah, and then glue it.
And then what do you call it? Hot glue everything together.
Yeah, have glue gun will travel. Now there are other ones like Nikki the Booksmith. Okay, I like her videos, but I like making journals. I like looking at what people make as a journal, so that attracts me. Okay, but she is very organized, but she's heavily edited. And that's the other thing about a lot of these videos. They are heavily edited. I don't edit because, one, I don't have the proper software for do it. And I swear there's a correlation between the success of a YouTube channel and the fact that they own a Mac. I swear there's a correlation. Because all the ones that have have the most views in the whole bit.
That's because they edit all their videos on iMovie or something like that.
Well, I edit mine on iMovie too, but on my iPad because it's easier than anything I have found to use
and that's
on a PC.
probably why they have a pad or an Apple.
Yeah, which I'm tempted at some point in time. My computer's getting pretty old now. It's maybe time to get a new one, but I'm still a little loath to go to the Mac thing. Well, also, there's I'd probably need to drop about $3,000 to $5,000.
Well, see, he's used to standing up in front of a classroom and rattling on, and that's what he's doing right now. So that's why you don't have to edit.
Okay, here's something. Tune in next week to see divorce proceedings. Gay divorce proceedings, okay, because they're going to happen. Oh, they're going to happen. I mean, if the pork doesn't kill me beforehand tonight, that will. It says to me, what do you want?
Well, we
for
can
dinner?
only hope.
Yeah, bite me real hard. Just bite me real hard. Let's see here. Well, thank you, Kathy. That's very nice of you to say so. I think that you are well enough prepared prior to filming that you don't need to edit. The problem with editing is I always am suspicious when I watch a YouTube channel where someone's doing a vlog and I'm listening to them, and every other sentence, there's a cut. They've moved on. Like, we all make mistakes. People do say,
Mel says she likes real-time videos that with all the mistakes in real projects more than edited ones. Actually, the editing stuff does annoy me when I watch a video. Like, you see these people talking and then all of a sudden they keep jumping.
Yeah.
Right? From to a thing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what did you take out?
Yeah, well, that's what I think, too. But, now I just lost my train of thought there about the editing and the whole thing. Yeah, the same thing as Walter. I don't trust them when they edit that much. Oh, the mistakes, I admit when I've made a mistake. That's why I started the Idiot Quilter. And I call it the Idiot Quilter. I make no bones about it. I am not the world's best quilter. Yeah, I'm getting better since I first started those. But I admit my mistakes because I figure people learn from the mistakes, right? I show why I had a problem. When I do on my vlog the iCraft kits, I go, okay, not sure what we're supposed to do here. I could have tried this. And I always talk about what I could have done better now that I've done it once and that kind of stuff. Because at least from my point of view, if I saw somebody doing that, I'd go, one, they're being very real about it. They're not trying to pass this off as perfect. And two, yeah, this may be the same mistake I'll make, so I can learn from you, kind of a thing. That's why I do those like that.
Well, I think it's important to see people make mistakes.
And Anita says, I hear that editing can take hours and hours. Yes, it does. When I make a vlog, okay, it does take, even though I don't do much editing, I still have to put my beginning onto it and my ending onto it, and I have to compile it, and that takes time. And then when you upload it to YouTube, it takes, for a 40-minute video, it takes an hour and a half to upload it. Then I have to do post-editing on YouTube with it to add the little boxes at the end, you know, the click here if you want to subscribe and stuff like that. So yeah, that eats up your time. And I could be doing better things than just that. This that you're seeing right now, no time at all. This will go up automatically onto YouTube when it's finished. And the only thing I do is I come back to it the next day and I add the little boxes, you know, for subscribe, that kind of thing on there. Let's see. Next week, Stephen live, Andy says. What, you mean because I don't let Walter talk?
Well,
He's here for the eye. He's just the eye candy, you know. Really. Well, in January 2020, YouTube mummy vloggers are going to be half gone, so people will be looking for new stuff to watch. This is why mummy vlogger are doing clean with me vids. Why? And then Anita says, "Why is that, Precy? What's happening in 2020? The pedophile thing has changed YouTube. People who exploit kids on YouTube are going to be demonetized and shut down." Oh, I did hear about that. Okay. Well, I'm not a pedophile, and I don't do kids on here because I don't like them. Andy says, one thing you might try, look at your favorite popular channels and identify what you like or see, then analyze to see what they have all in common. Yeah, I've been trying to do that. One thing I think they have in common is personalities. Okay? These are people that have charisma. Okay? Let's take Alex, for example, on his channel. One of the reasons I watch Alex is not necessarily for the content, it's because of the way he presents content. First of all, he does do editing, but he does editing that's almost seamless. It looks like he just strings a series of videos together, no
Alex.
Alex as in Curiosity Inc.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what his background is? He at one time had a big background in marketing, and he had a big background in making videos, like on a professional level. So he knows what he's doing. His videos are excellent, the way they're put together. He's very shrewd about that. He's very good at it. And that's not a criticism of him. That's full support for him. I don't know how he does everything else that he does in the amount of time he must take to put together his videos. But that's because he's probably also such an expert in how to do that he can fly through. And he's using a Mac. I've seen it on there. He's shown it. He's using a Mac too. So I need a Mac. Mm-hmm. Making a case. Okay, but he does have. He's got a sense of humor that's kind of borderlines on juvenile, but juvenile in such a warm, friendly family way. You can't help but warm up to him, okay? He's just the kind of person you want to have lunch with.
He has a good voice, too.
He's got a great voice for it all, too. So his family, he shows his family, they all look like really nice kids. Like, I can't imagine any of those kids being in trouble for anything. It's polite the whole bit. His wife, she's a kindergarten teacher. She's, you know, they're very warm and fuzzy without being sticky. Okay? So that's how that exists. Ken and Sean, I analyze them because he have a huge viewership. He's crazy, and people want to see crazy. Okay, not going that route. I'm not really a warm and fuzzy person either, so I can't do that. Melody Lane, there is a success story. That lady, shrewd business person. She makes money from her YouTubes, her affiliates that she's associated with, her ambassadorship with products like Cricut and the whole bit. That she could Patreon, the whole bit. She comes on every Saturday morning. I've stopped watching her actually because I'm sick and tired of Cricut videos. I don't need to know how to make another card. But her videos, she does hers live and records them. She doesn't do a lot of editing, but she's smooth. There's no two ways about it. And people give her money. Okay? She is about the money. And I'm not saying I'm going that route because I'm not going to get a dime, for one thing. And twice, I'm not doing that. That's not...
He likes to be popular.
Oh, screw off. You like to be popular. From Wicked. Shall I sing? No, you don't want to hear that.
Presley says Macs are a popular cause. Are popular because people think they are better for editing and people are abandoning them for better Windows offerings. Actually, I think Macs are better for editing.
I think Macs are better for it. The only problem is I've been a PC user for so many years, and there's a learning curve with Macs. Because Macs don't let you do what you want to do.
Yeah, Macs, if you're used to using PCs, I think Macs are difficult to learn because they're trying to... Apple can be frustrating because if you're used to doing stuff manually, then when you go to a Mac doesn't have any kind of
Tracy doesn't agree with you.
manual stuff.
She says no. She has links. I hope that'll clear up.
No, I have links.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, I think it is a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
But whatever. But back to the issue here, because we're getting close to the end of our time here. So, Anita says she watched a lot of sewing channels, and they all seem to have affiliates, and they show patterns of fabrics from a sponsor. Yes. Mirmi Small Art, Polish lady in Ireland. She's got a business now too. I've been watching her for a couple of years or longer. Her creations are beautiful. She chats with everybody as she's doing them. She has her kids sometimes help her do crafts, so she's playing the mummy thing on there. And her stuff is beautiful. And I like her videos as well. But again, people send her free products. She just got a whole pile of stuff from Arteza, which has all these, they're a new company, they have all these markers and stuff like that. They're not going to send them to me free.
Because you don't have enough viewers.
Because I don't have enough viewers. In fact, I did send them an email and said, if you want to send me something, just to see. I never got an answer. And I won't. And the same with these sewing ones, with the patterns and things like that and whatnot. Now, I am thinking of, one, separate the Idiot Quilter out from my channel right now. 2, actually start doing some simple sewing, quilting tutorials. I think I'm at the stage where I could do that. The only problem with that is it means I have to do some editing with it. And that part I don't like because that eats into my sewing time, okay? But maybe I could do it. Barb Owen. Barb Owen is another one. Business for her. She does once a month. She used to do it every Friday, but I think it got a little bit much. She does about a 2.5 hour live chat where she's working on a project as she's talking to people. She has a huge following. But she also does that because she has a membership site. I looked into it. She does classes online. I don't think they're live. They're pre-recorded. It's over $400 a year US. And she gets them. She gets them. And I'm not going to say that they're not worth the $400 because she's really, really good. But it's a business. And I guess that's one of the things that holds me back on this. This is not a business. This is a hobby. Something I do, okay? So I don't know. Anyways, what would be, to make a long story short here, and I know I'm probably sounding like I'm poo-pawing every one of your suggestions so far. I am not. I've been noting them down. I am taking them seriously. What would you like to see? What would turn your crank? What would you tell your friends about to say, tune in to his YouTube, go on to his live? What would you like us to do for the live or for my vlog, besides the things that have already been discussed? Artesia seems to have a big campaign at the moment. So-called YouTube influencers unfortunately make almost free job with marketing their products for a few pence and colors. Yeah. Yes, Barb is really good, but her son is a filmmaker in LA and he set her up with, yeah, I know he did. And she has she showed it once. And she has about 4 cameras in her studio and she's got a sophisticated switching system. I mean, I can switch between 2 cameras in my sewing room. But my lighting is bad in there. My sound's not so good. I know. I have to improve on those. So, yeah, the Quilting Marine, he doesn't edit his, and I don't say hate. I started to watch his channel, and I don't like it. Sorry, but I don't like it. It's just, he's playing on the whole thing that he is an ex-Marine, and that he makes quilts for servicemen, which is great. I mean, that's a charity and the whole bit. Quilts of Valor and the whole bit. I'm all for that. I think it's great. But after a while, it's the same old. But then again, I suppose people could say that about us, about live and about mine. So, what do you think? Give me one idea that you want us to try on the live. We'll start there. You would say, oh, I'm telling my friends about this. What do you want to see? It better not involve us taking off any clothing, because that's not going to attract any viewers whatsoever. Okay? Me punching out Walter? That's a possibility. Well, I guess that you need to try one thing and see what works. Okay. I'm looking for that thing. What is that thing? I don't know. Anyways, I think the lady doth protest too much. So, anyways, thank you for listening to me rattle on, listening to us. Well, no, it was me, it wasn't Walter, about this. But here's something I do want to try. Here's an idea. Oops, almost 2 at night over here. I have to go to bed now. Pillows calling. Bye for now. Have a good week, Mel. Here's one thing I want to try. Next week, the topic is you. We want to talk about you. All about you. We want to do an interview with those of you that are regular, well, even some that are irregular.
That'll scare you off.
Watchers on it. Précy, I want to know more about you. I want to ask you some questions. I'm not going to ask you embarrassing questions, and some questions you may not want to answer, so you don't have to. But Précy, Jody, Andy, Anita, Mel, anybody else. I want to have something that's all about you, not about me, not about us at all. But I need you to participate. I promise I will not ask any embarrassing questions. I promise you I will not put you on the spot. I promise that if there's something I ask and you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. What do you think? Are you game?
Silence.
And the crickets are chirping. We're going to do it anyways. So, if you want to see a lively discussion next week or you want to hear crickets, it'll all be up to you guys.
Your feed seems to be faster than mine.
Yeah, well, so many things are. Oh, Anita says okay. Précy says hot seat. Okay, that's next week. Prepare yourself. You better buckle in because it's going to be a bumpy ride. No, that's not true. It's not going to be bumpy. It's just going to be fun because I think, actually, that's one of my goals on my vlog on here, is to create a community. Okay? A community of people getting together, chatting about this and that and the other thing. Okay? Yes, I talk a lot because I abhor a vacuum. Okay. And Anita says, I should be here. I may have scared you away, Anita. Anyways, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for
everybody.
everything and putting up with this today and every night. I don't know if any of this made sense or whatnot, but if you've got suggestions, anything, you can always email me. It's Stephen Bland at simpatico.ca. Stephen with a V. Stephen Bland, STEVENBLAND, all one word, all lowercase, at Simpatico. SYMPATICO.ca for Canada. Okay? Please write to me. Anita, you already have it. Okay, so good night, everybody.
Good night.
And next week, be prepared. Bye bye.
Bye bye.